Hello, welcome to the video. Still here in Panama, you can see by the flag there. And we're at the Panama Canal. The Panama Canal is right behind there. You gotta go in through this building here and let's go check out the canal. This is the visitor center. It's actually at the Miraflores Visitors Center and it's kind of out of the way from the city. There's really not much else here other than the canal itself. But coming out to the canal, you can see a whole bunch of like boats and things and locks. And so I think here in the visitor center, you can learn a bit about the canal, frankly, because I don't know too much, and then see it. I haven't really seen the canal itself quite yet, but you may have to pay to get in. Oh yeah, so here's the photos of it. I think we can see that a little bit better after we go in here. So you have to buy a ticket before you can go in, and the ticket costs $10 for tourists. I think it's cheaper if you're a local. Generally, most people try to go to see when there's a boat coming, but the boats aren't there right now, which is too bad. The boats apparently come early in the morning and then later in the night. But I think they said that the first boats came at 10 a.m. So we missed the boats, but check out the canal anyways. All right, so here we are. But we'll see how close we can get. I don't know. Talking to the fellas going through security, because they do have pretty strict security here. Apparently, the best time to come see is when there's a line of boats, either 8 a.m. in the morning or 2 to 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon. Unfortunately, I can't do that because I got meetings, work meetings. I'm still working remote, so I have to work my schedule, my traveling schedule around working remote. But here it is. This is the canal. I think technically this is one of the locks. I really don't know if we can get closer. I hope we can, because $10 just to see this is not great. Interessante. So basically, this is a lock. This is the Miraflores Lock. In the morning, boats cross going towards the Caribbean, and so they have water risen on one side and then they go down. But in the afternoon, it's the reverse system. So boats are coming from the Caribbean, I believe going to the Pacific. Instead of water going up, water goes down. Honestly, I don't even know how it would work. It'd be cool to see that in vivo, in live. It's like 11:30 right now, which is too late. And then the boat's coming the other way. Oh, loud. They never stop talking on the intercoms here. But so either come between 8 to 10 or between 2:30 to 5. Coming during the middle of the day, you kind of miss the most. Okay, so all the way down there, and the Atlantic and the Caribbean's over there, so the boats would come in this way, get stopped, probably go through some checkpoint, then they get lowered down. I don't know how that happens. That'd be super cool to see. Too bad there are no boats here now. Lowered down into over there, you go out to the Pacific. So right down there, like Panama City is like literally right down that way, and you connect to the Pacific that way. So I guess in the afternoon, it's the reverse system. Boats come in from the low end, up through here, then get raised up, I assume, and then get spat out down this way, going into the Caribbean, which is cool. Fortunately, I can't stay until 2 or 2:30 because I have some work meetings I need to do. But yeah, this is cool. This is cool. So all the way down there, Pacific, all the way down there is the Caribbean. All the boats have crossed, so there's really not much to see now, unfortunately. And I'm not gonna stick around. But let's see if we can learn a little bit about it. So these are the types of boats that pass. It looks like big boats. They're all pretty big boats. So you got passenger ships. Oh, está bien. Let's see, tankers, chemical tankers, container ships, big ships. I don't think small ships can go through. I wonder if you have to have like you have to be big enough to go through it. Like if you're too small, you may not be allowed to go into the canal. Oh, cool. This is actually how it works, so check it out. How does the Panama Canal work? So you got the Pacific Ocean down there, the Miraflores Lock, which is where we're at right now. You have Lago Miraflores, Miraflores Lake, another lock, and then a cut. And then you go all the way down back into the Mar, the Caribbean Sea. Interesting. So it looks like both seas are about the same height. Checking out the Pacific and the Caribbean. And then when you come into the land at a lock, you get raised up, spit out to like a lake, raised up again, spit out to a cut for the highest part, and then you get the iteration of going back down and spat out to the sea again. So the Panama Canal works as a marine shortcut to save distance, time, and cost, which all makes sense. Yeah, this is how it works. So it looks like the boats will come into this lock area. Either water would get drained down or raised up, and within each lock, this is how the boats get to the next like level of altitude, to be either spit out to the lake or to be spit out to the ocean. And the locks just kind of act as the process to raise up a large boat or take it down a large boat through, it looks like these lock heads either drain water, or I would assume they would add water if you need to go up. But I don't really know how that works. It makes sense if when the boat is here, the locks would drain the water out to lower it. But I wonder if it's to raise it up. Do they add water to raise it up? Or is it like a pulley system that would pull the boat up and then pass it through to the next lock? I don't know. And that would have been cool to see actually in real time, because I think we get a better answer that way. I'm literally just guessing. Maybe it's like a train track of some sort. I don't know. So you can kind of see, this just spits it. There's a big lake over here from the Caribbean into the Panama, big lake. And then you have the canal here, which connects you to the Pacific and splits the country in half. Well, you have a few bridges going over it, but pretty interesting. So guys, this is the canal. These are the locks. This is the Miraflores Lock. This is kind of how it works. I was talking to someone and I got a little bit better idea of how it actually works. So when the boats come in, they're received there, and either they flood it with water to raise them up and then spit them out over here, or they do the opposite. They start them over there and then they would drain it with water when you're going into the Pacific to get it down to that level, and then you can spit out into the Pacific. So interesting. Dang, I wish I was here when this was happening in real time. I'll definitely come back, now I know. Apparently also there is a museum here too, which you could learn more about it. However, that museum is closed now, which is also a real shame, because, you know, you come all the way out here, spend 10 bucks on a ticket for really nothing too exciting. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. It's a pretty cool thing that this was built by humans, that humans can raise and lower water to connect ships from one ocean to another over the length of a full country. That's crazy. And even then, when you compound it by the fact that this was made by human hands, like there were no diggers, no electronic machinery. If so, very, very little. Actually, that's a great question. When was this canal made? Okay, so it looks like they began construction on it in 1903, and it was finished and opened in 1913. So it took 10 years to build, but all by humans, without crazy machinery. Like nowadays we have big diggers and all that jazz, which can make things a lot easier, but this was all done by humans to basically cut a country in half. That is absurd. Really, really cool. And so there's apparently 3 locks on each side. So this is the Miraflores Lock, the first lock next to the ocean, I believe. And then you got a few more locks as you go up that way, getting deeper into the country. And then you have like a cutover, which is kind of like a big lake to a degree. And then you have a few more locks before you get spit back out into the Caribbean Ocean. So, and a lock, just again, because I'm learning all this stuff right now too. A lock is this stuff right here when the boat either gets raised or lowered so it can proceed forward in the canal. The reason why you need to do that is because the oceans are at a much lower elevation than the heart of the country. And so when you navigate through the country, you need to be able to get up because the canal is not as deep as the ocean is. So yeah, that's it. This was really cool. I really like Panama. My time here is coming to an end, unfortunately. But the nice thing about Panama is that I fly Copa Airlines a bunch, and Copa has this hub in Panama. Panama has some like stopover deals similar to how Iceland used to have a bunch of stopover deals, like, you know, stop in Iceland on your way to Europe and, you know, stay in Reykjavik for a few nights for either a cheap ticket price or the same price it would cost. And Panama, Copa has the same thing. I bet you, probably even within this year, I will be back in Panama on my way down to deeper South America, because as you saw in the last video, I now have my yellow fever vaccine, and that means I'm good to go into the remote Amazon, which I certainly will be taking huge advantage of in the next year. So that's it. Hope you liked the video. Panama's really cool. Oh, the food is amazing too. I wish I had time to make a video on the food. Maybe I will. I don't think I'd do this trip, but great country. I can't wait to be back. Highly recommend it. Pretty good place for vacations. So I hope you liked the video, and I will see you in the next one.